You know, sometimes in this country, the courtroom can turn into the biggest stage of drama. And this week, all eyes were on Abuja. People couldn't believe what happened in Nnamdi Kanu's case. The news spread like wildfire. Massive shock in court as Nnamdi Kanu's lawyers take a bold step. And truly, it was bold, unexpected, and full of tension. If you're watching this now, please take 1 second, hit the like button, and subscribe so you don't miss the next update, because this story keeps unfolding. So picture it. The court was full, reporters, lawyers, supporters, everyone waiting for the next twist. Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, has been standing trial for years now, facing serious charges related to terrorism and national security. It's one of the longest and most followed court cases in Nigeria. People have strong opinions. Some see him as a freedom fighter, others see him as a man challenging the nation's unity. But that day, something no one expected happened. His team of lawyers, the same people who had been defending him for so long, stood up and said they were withdrawing from the case. You could literally feel the surprise in the air. Even the journalists in court looked at one another like, wait, what did we just hear? And then, Nnamdi Kanu himself said something even more shocking. He was ready to represent himself. That's right. He told the court he would stand in his own defense. Now, in most trials, especially big ones like this, it's very rare for a defendant to dismiss their own legal team. So when Kanu did that, it raised questions everywhere. What's really going on behind the scenes? My people, please don't forget to like this video right now and subscribe so you can follow this story as we unpack it. Because this move wasn't just drama, it was strategy, emotion, and maybe frustration all rolled into one moment. Now, let's understand it properly. You see, this case has been dragging for a long time. There have been postponements, new motions, new charges, even disputes about whether the court has jurisdiction to handle the matter at all. And Kanu has complained several times that the process is unfair to him, that he hasn't been allowed enough access to his legal documents, or that his lawyers haven't been treated properly. So maybe this decision to represent himself is his own way of making a statement, a kind of protest to show he's not happy with the system. But it's risky. Court cases, especially ones involving national security, are full of technical laws, sections, and rules. Representing yourself means you need to understand all that. But Nnamdi Kanu insisted. He wanted to speak for himself. The judge that day, Justice Omotosho, was calm but firm. He reminded everyone that the case has been in court for a long time and that deadlines have already been set for the defense to open its case. But now, since the lawyers withdrew and the defendant said he wanted to represent himself, the court had to decide what to do next. After hearing both sides, the judge said the case would proceed and gave a final chance. But when no new defense presentation was made, he announced that the defense side was officially closed. And then he fixed a date for judgment, November 20th. Now that single date, my people, sent ripples across the country. Because it means after years of back and forth, the court is ready to deliver a judgment that could shape the next chapter of Nigeria's unity and law. If you're still watching, please tap the like button and subscribe. Let's keep this community growing because we're breaking down stories like this in a way everyone can understand. Now, let's talk about why this bold step is so important. In law, when a defense is closed without presentation, it means the court will only use what's already on record, the evidence from the prosecution, the motions, and any documents already filed by the defense. That's why this is risky. If the court rules based only on what's available and the defense hasn't presented new witnesses or arguments, it could make judgment easier for the prosecution's side. But you know, there's also another side to it, a symbolic one. Some people believe that Kanu's move is a way to reclaim control of his narrative. For years, his story has been told by lawyers, media, government, everyone else. Maybe he wants to speak for himself in his own voice to his followers and to Nigeria at large. It's a big statement, and whether it's a smart legal move or not, it's definitely a powerful one in terms of message. Now let's move into what Kanu himself said in court. He argued that the law used to charge him, the Terrorism Prevention Act, is no longer valid or has been changed. He claimed the prosecution cannot rely on it to continue the case. He was calm but serious as he made that claim before the court. The judge listened, but insisted that these arguments should have been filed formally before now, and that the trial must move on. Outside the courtroom, emotions ran high. Supporters gathered, waving flags, holding placards, calling for his release. Security presence was strong, as always. The federal government, on its part, has said time and again that the matter is purely legal and that due process is being followed. But of course, many Nigerians don't see it that simply. Please, if you haven't, like this video now and subscribe. It helps us reach more people so they can hear this gist too. Now, what happens when a man decides to represent himself in a case like this? It's not just about courage, it's about understanding the law, speaking at the right time, and knowing how to respond to the prosecution's points. Some legal experts say that while the law allows it, it's always better to have a lawyer because law is full of fine details that can make or break a case. Others say, well, if the man feels his lawyers are not representing him properly, he has every right to stand for himself. That's democracy. The truth is, everyone is watching this closely. And remember, November 20th isn't far away. That's when the court said it will deliver judgment. Between now and then, emotions, predictions, and speculations will be everywhere. You'll see all kinds of headlines online. Some true, some not. That's why it's important that we break it down clearly here using verified information. Now, let's go a bit deeper. This case is not just about one man. It's a reflection of something bigger. How Nigeria handles issues of unity, freedom of speech, and law. Nnamdi Kanu's case touches on all those things. Some people believe his call for self-determination should be handled politically, not through criminal trials. Others argue that his words and actions went beyond free speech into national security concerns. That debate is ongoing and it divides opinions, especially across regions. But here's something to think about. Every major country faces moments like this, where the law, politics, and public emotion collide. What defines a nation isn't just the outcome of one trial, but how the country handles that trial, whether people remain peaceful, whether justice is transparent, and whether everyone feels heard. So, as we approach that November 20th date, let's not only watch what happens in court, let's also watch ourselves. Let's see how we react, how we discuss it online, how we treat one another even when we disagree. Because at the end of the day, we're all Nigerians and peace matters. Please, again, take a second, like this video, subscribe, and share it so more people can stay informed and calm as we follow this story. Now, away from the courtroom drama, let's also talk about how this whole issue has affected the Southeast region. There have been reports of sit-at-home orders, businesses closing, and ordinary citizens feeling trapped in the middle of a political storm. Many people there just want peace, development, and opportunities. The tension around this case sometimes makes daily life harder for them. And that's why so many community leaders keep calling for dialogue, for the government and everyone involved to find a peaceful path forward. At the same time, the federal government insists it must uphold the law, that no one is above it. And that's fair. Every nation must protect its constitution. But how do we find a balance? That's the big question this case keeps asking us.